The atmosphere at Gate 42 was a simmering pot of frustration. Flight 812 to Zurich had been delayed by 2 hours and counting, with vague updates citing unforeseen maintenance issues. The mood finally boiled over when the gate agent, a calm, middle-aged man named Marcus, announced yet another 45-minute hold. Mr. Arthur Finch, a man in a perfectly tailored suit who carried the air of someone perpetually owed an apology, marched to the counter, his face crimson. Unforeseen maintenance? I foresaw this the moment I booked with your bargain basement operation. Finch spat, slamming his briefcase on the counter. I have a board meeting I must attend. Now, I demand to speak to the pilot. This is unacceptable. You're clearly just sitting back here, enjoying the chaos. Marcus looked up, his expression utterly serene despite the escalating tirade. He leaned back slightly and spoke in a voice that cut through the noise of the crowded gate area. Sir, the pilots are currently focused on reviewing the new flight plan and revised weight and balance calculations. They can't speak with you right now, Marcus stated. Oh, and you can? Finch sneered, gesturing wildly at the simple airline lanyard around Marcus's neck. What are you? A glorified ticket scanner? Get your manager. I want an explanation from someone with actual authority. Marcus's lips curved into a faint, professional smile. He reached up, unclipped the basic lanyard, and then slowly clipped on a much heavier, metallic one engraved with a stylized wing emblem and 3 simple words, Chief Safety Officer. Very well, Mr. Finch, Marcus said, his demeanor shifting from passive employee to decisive executive. My name is Marcus Thorne, and I am the Chief Safety Officer for this airline. You are speaking to the man who delayed your flight. The entire gate area fell silent, the abrupt reveal stealing the breath from the waiting passengers. Finch deflated slightly, the color of his face shifting from crimson rage to a pale, mottled confusion, but he still tried to salvage his anger. A CSO sitting at a gate? That's preposterous. What kind of safety issue takes 3 hours to resolve? Are you running some kind of operation out of here? Marcus reached under the counter and picked up a small, dense black box, a specialized sensor housing unit, and held it up for Finch to inspect. An issue that could have caused the plane's total failure, Marcus replied, his tone hardening with quiet gravity. About 3 hours ago, I was reviewing the pre-flight telemetry logs remotely from the engineering team's final diagnostics. Everything looked green on the conventional systems, but a piece of bespoke analysis software that I personally wrote and implemented flagged an anomalous noise spike on the primary hydraulic pressure line of the number 2 engine. He held up the sensor. This hydraulic line is buried deep in the wing structure, responsible for crucial flight control surfaces. The plane would never have sensed it was running low on fluid until the line catastrophically failed at altitude. That's an immediate, major loss of steering and control on one side of the aircraft, rendering the flight potentially unflyable. Your engineers cleared it, didn't they? That means the system was fine. Finch challenged, desperately clinging to his initial, simple conclusion of incompetence. They did, because the spike was so small, it was automatically filtered out by standard diagnostic protocols, dismissed as routine electromagnetic interference from other systems, Marcus confirmed. But my software is designed to recognize the specific acoustic signature of a metal fatigue crack starting to breathe under pressure. It's a signature no regular, off-the-shelf maintenance system is programmed to detect, especially one that is masked by the engine's normal operating hum. Marcus looked directly into Finch's eyes. I didn't order the plane grounded because it was convenient, or because I enjoy sitting back and enjoying the chaos. I ordered it pulled from service and quarantined on the maintenance ramp. It then took our best engineering team 2 hours and 36 minutes, using specialized ultrasonic sensors guided by the data my system provided, to locate that microscopic crack in the 6 feet of line deep within the wing. We have replaced the line, flushed the system, and are now running final pressure checks and running a mandatory systems recalibration across the wing, hence the last 45-minute delay for race certification. Marcus leaned forward. You demanded to speak to the pilot to yell at him for incompetence and delaying your schedule. But the truth is, The only reason that pilot isn't currently preparing to take off on a plane with a critical, potentially lethal structural failure is because I, the chief safety officer, decided your board meeting was less important than 300 lives and the structural integrity of the wing." He paused, letting the silence expand and settle over the crowd, whose initial frustration had been replaced by a chilling realization of the true danger they had narrowly escaped. Then, Marcus picked up the CSO badge, still clipped to the heavy metallic lanyard, and placed it gently down next to Finch's expensive briefcase. "Now, Mr. Finch, I am sure you have important board meetings to attend, and I hope you make your connection. But I hope the rest of your delay is spent reflecting on the fact that your current frustration is the direct, intended result of a dedicated professional prioritizing your safety and the safety of everyone here over a printed schedule. If you still want to complain about the delay, I'll be here to process your complaint." Finch stared at the badge, then at the small black sensor box, and finally back at Marcus's unyielding, ethical gaze. His rage was extinguished, replaced entirely by a cold, visceral shock. He grabbed his briefcase, mumbled a word that sounded vaguely like sorry, and retreated quickly back into the safe anonymity of the crowd, his arrogance utterly shattered by the scale of the threat he had just mocked. The immediate aftermath and the true cost of contempt, the silence that descended upon Gate 42 was more absolute than any noise could have been. The crowd, initially hostile and restless, now stood in a collective state of quiet and sudden, chilling gratitude. People murmured, not about the delay, but about the noise spike and the microscopic crack. They had just been given a terrifying, real-time lesson in the unseen labor that separates a delay from a disaster. One elderly woman approached the counter hesitantly. "Mr. Thorne, I just want to thank you. I have my grandchildren waiting for me in Zurich." Marcus offered a gentle, tired smile. "That's why we do it, ma'am. It's never about the schedule. It's always about the safe arrival." Meanwhile, Mr. Arthur Finch did not make his way to a customer service desk to rebook. He retreated to a secluded, empty corner of the terminal. His expensive briefcase lay forgotten beside his feet. The confrontation with Marcus Thorne had done more than just silence him. It had fundamentally broken his composure. He pulled out his phone, his hand visibly shaking, and called his assistant. "Cancel the Zurich board meeting. I won't be there." "No. Don't rebook. Tell them I've had a sudden, urgent realization about our own internal safety protocols. Tell them I'm reviewing everything from the ground up." The arrogance he had displayed, the casual assumption that the life-saving work done by the professionals around him was merely ticket scanning, now felt like a profound moral failure. He had mocked the man who had just saved his life, and the lives of every person standing at that gate. The thought of that microscopic crack and the major loss of steering 6 miles high over the ocean played over and over in his mind like a chilling loop. The ripple effect. Marcus Thorne's unseen work. Marcus Thorne did not remain at the counter for long. His presence at the gate was itself part of his unique system. He preferred to observe the public reaction to delays he initiated, ensuring transparency and accountability were maintained. He was, in fact, the most highly paid non-pilot in the airline, a former aerospace engineer who had transitioned into safety assurance to implement his specialized proprietary software. The black box he held up to Finch was a small, high-frequency data receiver. The software he had mentioned was named Guardian, a predictive maintenance program that used advanced algorithms to listen to the inaudible voices of the aircraft, identifying minute stress factors long before conventional systems registered a fault. It was Guardian, Marcus's quiet invention, that was responsible for the airline's perfect safety record over the last decade. He deliberately chose to wear the simple gate agent lanyard while monitoring the gate, wanting to see if the flying public would treat the glorified ticket scanner with the same respect they'd afford a CEO. Finch's reaction confirmed everything Marcus already suspected about entitled, status-obsessed passengers. The true resolution of the incident wasn't just a replacement of the hydraulic line. It was the race certification process. The 45-minute hold was crucial. It involved Marcus personally signing off on the system recalibration and pressure tests. His signature, the one from the chief safety officer, was the only thing that could release Flight 812 from quarantine. As Marcus turned and walked toward the staff entrance, he clipped the metallic CSO badge back onto his vest. He left the simple, plastic gate agent lanyard on the counter, a discarded mask, no longer needed. The door sealed behind him, leaving the passengers of Flight 812 waiting, no longer in frustration, but in profound, patient respect for the rigorous work being done on their behalf.